Basically in this video what we're doing is a bunch of measurements and stuff, so yeah, and getting the board on properly.
Okay, so this is plenty strong now to support everything. So what I'm going to do is, there's holes in the top of this. Ray, you want to show them the holes?
Yeah, so kind of looks like a bit of a keyhole there.
Exactly. So what you do is you make your mark where the smaller slot is, right there. And then what you do is you take it, and the head of the screw can go in the big hole, and then you just slide it so that it tightens right up, and then from the top I'm going to tighten it. So that way I can basically take the unit and slide it on there, and I don't have to hold it up for that long. And then it's just a matter of tightening the bolts. Okay, what I'm going to do now is measure my holes so I can drill my holes. You have to be very precise with this because there's not a lot of margin for error. If you don't do it right and you go to put this hood up and it doesn't line up, it's a pain. So if you want to come a little closer, first thing I'm going to do, again, you measure to these small slots. Okay, I don't like to use the end of a tape because it's not exact. So I'd like to go to my first full number that I can see, and I'm going to go to the center, and I see I'm going 2 inches to 11 inches, so the gap is actually 9 inches. Right, so I'm going to make the marks. I'm going to write 9 inches, and this is machined. I'll double check, but it definitely should be 9 inches. Here we go, 2 inches, 11 inches, 9 inches. Now we're going to measure the distance this way. Again, I'm going to use the 2 inch right to the center, and I'm going to come down this way, exactly 36 inches. So you subtract the 2 inches, and it's 34 inches. Okay, so you can do this if you want. So these are my 4 holes. They're 9 inches apart front to back, 34 inches side to side. Now I need to know where to start the hole from. Well, this is the back, so I'm going to again pull from the back to the center, and it's 1.5 inches. So I start the holes 1.5 inches off the back. I'm going to double check this side, but again, it's a machine product. There's no reason it shouldn't be different. Actually, it's a good thing I checked. It is a slight difference. So I'm going to take an 1/8 off of that. So I'm going to call it 1 1/8. Okay. I'm sorry, 1 3/8. Let's do that again. So I'm going to take an 1/8 off that, so I'm going to call it 1 3/8. I assume everybody knows how to do their measurements off a tape measure. Maybe I'll do a quick primer on that. This is an American inches tape measure, not metric. And you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then it says 1F, which means 1 foot. You can break it down further. You see these real small lines? If you count all those, you'll get 16. So those are 1/16 of an inch. 4 of them, 4 times 4, okay, is 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 1. And then you can go in between. So let's say you want to say 3/8. This line here is an 8, so 1, 2, 3/8 is right there. So that's how I get my measurement, 1 3/8. It's just an 1/8 less than 1/2. That way I make sure I'm right in that hole. Okay. The one last measurement I need to take now is from the end. From the end to the center is 1 inch. Again, let me check this side since there was a slight variation. 1 inch. 1 inch looks like it's going to work. Okay, so there are a lot of measurements and we have to be careful. Okay. Now the last thing we want to make sure, since this board here is a little shorter than this, that we figure out center and out, because I didn't want to make the board all the way to the edge. Okay? So we take the overall length, which is 36 inches. Okay? Half of 36 is 18. I'm going to make a mark at 18. Okay? What had my square? Oh, my square's outside. Okay, let me do it here. So I'm going to take 18 inches. Mark at 18. Okay, and now we'll measure from center. And it should be, it's 19 inches, right, because we've got the inch difference. Okay, so now I'm going to go up and transfer my marks up here. Take my paper. I won't remember all these measurements. So again, the reason I changed this is 34 and a half, so it's different. And the reason I did 34 and a half, if you recall, our measurement center to center was 34 inches. So I wanted to make sure that I wasn't hanging over too much.
Put in a little extra stuff on the board just so it's a little bigger and safer. So like it's just more room when you attach it. It's not the biggest deal to not have, just like have it a little too short, but you don't want it like 3 inches short or whatever, but just make it a little longer. Just drilling it back on. A little bit of an extra layer. Now here's my dad. He has no idea what he's doing right now. He's just looking around, scratching his head, has no idea. He's like, what? What did I do wrong? He has no idea.
And from there, was 9 inches. Do me a favor, Ray. On the back of the pickup truck, there's this thing that's called it's a big framer square, piece of metal. It looks like this. Can you grab that for me?
Yeah.
Just be careful though, because if it's in the sun, it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Kids Filming.